Hello, Swivel Heads. This is Greg Allison with Green Gregs coming to you on the wee hours of the morning of 24 March with them breaking news that we have a solar storm, a G4 solar storm with a KP index almost of 8. That's the measure, the geomagnetic intensity that this thing is hitting our Earth's magnetic field. So, guys, this is a pretty strong storm. In fact, people have reported seeing this in New Mexico, that far south, with photographs to prove it. I have actually seen solar storms right here in Alabama, but I'm 8 miles south of the Tennessee border. That's rare, but I'm about the same latitude as parts of New Mexico. So, it's possible. I got a little glare around here tonight. It's kind of high humidity. I actually went outside to see if I could see this thing. Maybe if I drove out away from the houses where I'm at, I still might. So, guys, this is an indicator that things are getting serious with the sun. This is from not a solar flare. This is not from your typical solar storm, but this comes from a coronal hole, a large area coronal hole in the sun. We're about to take a look at these things real fast, and I'll give a shout out to Lee Wilbarger. He's the one that called me about 30 minutes ago, or maybe 45 minutes ago, and says, Greg, there's a KP index of almost 8. He says, he thought I want you to know I was about to call it a night. So, guys, I'm going to go through this real fast. I'm going to show you this thing. I am going to update here since we are live. And I'm live because it's late and I don't really want to go through the trouble of uploading this and all the time involved in that. I'm going to get it to you as fast as I can, guys. So we got 47 in the room. Good to see folks in here. Mag Rising, Tim Casper. All right, Hunter, Tina, Alpha Omega, Aces High, Bravo, Sweet Polly Purebred. Yeah, Captain Trips. All right, guys. Dutch Dooley. All right, guys. All right, let's have a look at the stuff. Tim, if you want more knowledge on space weather, oh, yeah. I watched her earlier today. She did not predict it would get this strong. Yes, I watched Dr. Tamitha Skov. Yeah, absolutely. Got wrong red hair. I've actually been in her chat room. I've talked about interviewing her on my Galactic Greg's channel. She said she did. I just hadn't followed up with that. So I just want to keep you guys updated. I don't listen to anything Suspicious Observers has to say. So that guy's got some crazy, idiotic ideas of things that's impossible in the world of physics. I do not respect him, not one iota. I know he's like one of the most popular channels that you guys watch, but I got no respect for him. None. Okay. I don't even want to hear his name mentioned in my chat room. That's how much I disrespect that man. All right, guys. So let's go in here. He's got stupid ideas. Okay. Let me put it that way. So let's get in here. I am going to show you a few things real quick. Anybody that buys off on I won't go into it. I've done a video which I went into great detail, smashing all to pieces in a zillion different ways, Doug Vogt and all that stuff. Okay, I have smashed it thoroughly, trashed it, smashed it, and there's no way you can come back from what I put out in that video. There is no way to claw back from it with any hopes of any credibility. So therefore, I don't want to discuss any further. If you want to watch that, go through my videos. See that Chan Thomas survival video, or whatever I called it, that I did for Chan Thomas Bugger, because everybody's asking me how to survive an event like that. Well, I told you how you'd survive it or to care, but I told you it wasn't going to happen. And I explained it in great detail. And I shot down with geological evidence from 6 ways from Sunday why that's not happening and why it don't happen every 12,000 years, and why that idea of the 2 mile high tsunami is all washed out. Or or 600 feet of water getting evaporated by a micronova. No, heck no, that is pure, or the earth going beep, 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 beep like that. No, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. It's all idiocy, purebred idiocy. And I've shot it down all kind of ways. And I got pure geologic evidence that shows that did not happen. And that's on my videos. I don't care what they say. I can take them to the caves here in my area and all over. I can go to South Florida. I can go to a cave in Panhandle, Florida, and I can show them pure evidence that has not happened. Irrefutable, pure, absolute evidence in rock and stone. And there's places all over the world I can show them evidence in rock and stone that his crazy, stupid notions didn't happen. Okay. All right, guys, y'all got me riled up talking about him. I should even delete this video. You shouldn't be on here talking bad about other channels. But holy smoke, guys. And that may even cost me about 1,000 subscribers. So maybe you love him. I don't know. Greg doesn't need to be suspicious. He happens to. There you go. There you go. Yeah, sweet purebred. What's that? Sweet poly purebred. Yeah. So, hey, Nova Scotia. Oh, it's cloudy. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. If you want to hear somebody like Tim Casper says, listen to Dr. Tamika Scott. She's sharp. She's smart. She knows her stuff. But they didn't predict this storm. And she knew that Colonel Hull was there, and she said it was going to be a good night to get aurora photographs. Wow. That was a little bit of an understatement. So it is pretty strong, guys. It is pretty strong. All righty, guys, let's see here. Just got notified what I missed. I'm just getting into it. All right, you missed a tirade from me because somebody talked about suspicious observers and trying to cite them. I was like, anybody can look at the sun and know we got a major coronal hole if you look at the data. Okay, and that does invoke the idea you're going to get a lot of solar wind, a lot, especially as large as this is, and that things are going to happen. I mean, it's not falling off the rock. Suspicious observer to get right on that. It's not falling off a log. Sure, no. All right, let's look at some data here real quick. I'm going to do some shares. I got to make sure I got this thing open up to share it. Hang on, guys. Got to open this screen up here and share screen. Ding, 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 ding. Hang on, guys. All right, this is from the NOAA. This is where we're at right now. It's dropped. I believe it might have dropped a little bit. We are at a KP index of 7.67. It's almost up to 8 here. This chart goes to 9, okay? And a KP index of 9 is a G5 solar storm. That's where you're at risk of losing the power grid. We are at G4. Just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at. What I worry about losing the power grid. That's one of my big things I worry about. He's rude too. Who's that, Cheryl? Talking about, I'm sorry, if I went off on him, but people watch him so much and they believe all that stuff he puts out. And I've shot it down. I don't make it a great point to go into that a lot. He happens to be one of the most popular channels of people watching my channels, especially Galactic Grays. And I'm going, really? After me doing a video which totally, thoroughly trashed all that stuff he says. But, Lee says 8 in this house. Well, it's practically 8, guys. It may have actually been up to it. I mean, it's real close. You see right here, 7.67. And then they may be underrating it. It's possible, if you got your own meters and stuff. I'm going by what the NOAA's got on their website. Now, it's just like the USGS, which likes to downrate earthquakes. So that may be something like that. It may be an 8, but it's really close. If you round it up, it's an 8. And I think this was a little bit higher when I looked at it earlier. So it may have picked up 7.8 to be precise. Well, this says 7.67. It may have been, I thought it was a 7.8 when I looked on here earlier. Let me hit a refresh on this page and see what it says. Sometimes you got to hit it. It still says 7.67. Okay, it may have varied a little bit, but this is what it's done over the day earlier. But this is the average for, about a 3-hour period. This is 3-hour data, guys. 3-hour tour. Thank you, Sub-Zero. Appreciate that. Yeah, we need some thumbs up, guys. Man, it gives me since I kind of unleashed on yeah, you know what? He's got trolls. Once you unleash on him, he sticks his trolls on you. So, it's kind of crazy. That's what I've heard. I don't care anything about that. I'm not here to debate him. It's just when people bring him. Here it is, guys. Now, this is where you'd think the aurora would be visible. Definitely. Hey, I used to live in Fort Greely. It'd be a great time to be up there right now. I'd love to be sitting up there looking in the night sky and getting some good photographs of this stuff. All over Canada, all of Canada. But you can see it even, supposedly here, but there's reports of it being seen in New Mexico, which is about like Tennessee. So northern Tennessee, Kentucky. So you might possibly be able to see this from your home. I would it's get away from the lights and look north and see if you could see it. Barbecue tomorrow morning. There you go. TGIF Friday. There you go, Sub-Zero. Massive earthquake. I don't know, Anton. We'll see. So this is a severe Earth, like this, a severe disturbance in Earth's magnetic field. G4, severe geomagnetic storm alert. That's what we got, guys. And it's a severe storm. It's not the worst, but it is severe. Now, to put it in perspective, this is space weather. That's some of the aurora photographs. We'll look at Lee's channel in a minute. And they said they saw it from New Mexico. So let's check that out. And this is from the Sunspot Observatory in New Mexico, apparently. So you can see a little glow in the northern sky from New Mexico. So you can actually see it. I've actually seen it look a little stronger than that here in Alabama. We've had a stronger storm than this. Absolutely, G5 is much worse. Much worse. Now, to give you an idea, it's not coming from these sunspots. Now, when these sunspots were on the other side of the storm, they kicked out a ginormous coronal mass ejection. One that looked like it could have been a Keratin level event. Guys, this isn't the first time that's happened. That's what's scary. That has happened a few times on the other side of the sun in the last year or two. You know, we should be thankful that that's not happened to us on this side. Why is it keeps happening on the other side? Some people think it's some collective aspect of human consciousness. Maybe it's just good luck, or the man upstairs just thinks it's not quite our time yet. I don't know, guys, but that don't make probabilistically for all of them to be firing off on the other side. It's not probable. I mean, you expect at least half of them to be on our side somewhere. So we're lucky. We've been very, very lucky. You know, there was a big one in July of 2012, which would have fit the Mayan calendar. It would have done us in, but it too just missed us. So, you know, this is what we're looking at. We've been very lucky over the last several years. How long will this luck last? It's kind of like playing Russian roulette. How long can you count on luck like this? Except I think we got less than 6 chambers in this revolver. Predictions. I'm not going to make any predictions, but just that, you know, our time's going to run out on us, guys. We've got a very weak power grid. We're putting we're overloading it with electric cars. We're putting stupid smart meters on it. They're stupid because they're easy to hack and easy to fail. They're one of the first things that we get fried by the G1 signal and the EMP, or even G2 lightning. They'd be easy to take out. They're easy to hack. They're stupid. The smart grid's a stupid grid, and anybody's pushing it's stupid. The government officials, the utilities, and all these people pushing smart grid are stupid for pushing it. I won't hold back any punches on that, guys. That's the absolute truth. Unless they're firing something. What? Firing what's firing? Rain in here in Ohio. Okay. Warm, you got peepers. Your frogs are peeping there. Oh, very good. Mine are still peeping here. Well, if you get 6 years to think about it, well, maybe. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. You know, there's a lot of stuff in the last book of the good book. A lot of activity. All right, here's the culprit, guys. It's this hole. Now, it actually probably threw this at us when it was more over here. Those big sunspots you just saw are in this area right here. But this coronal hole, now it's not really dark on the sun. This is relative. I mean, relative to everything. It's like when I fire a rocket motor and take a picture of it, it looks like nighttime in the middle of the daytime when I've got my cameras pointed, when I've pointed my cameras at a rocket motor. And it's like bright orange and everything else around it looks dark. It's because the light of the rocket motor washes everything else out. Just like the surface of the moon light washes out stars. That's why you don't see stars from the moon. It's because the light from the sun reflecting off the lunar surface is incredibly brilliant. So it's the same effect. And I've seen it, you know, many times in use of cameras. All right, so here we are, guys. This coronal hole is it's huge. This thing is, I mean, that would take a lot of Earth to fill it. I mean, Earth is about the size of that little dot I'm covering with my, probably with my thing, or maybe this one. Earth is puny compared to this. That hole is huge. So it's covering a good area of space. All right, so here's the details on a G4. Aurora in the Caribbean. Yeah, you can see Aurora in the Caribbean. Amen, there, Ricky. When they had a Keratin event. And the Keratin event, we now know, is not the strongest solar storm. We've had like in 1710 and a few other times, we've had events stronger than the Carrington. Our sun can just knock us flat. All right, here's what they say on a G4. Severe power systems, possible widespread voltage control problems, and some protective systems will mistakenly trip out key assets from the grid. All right, so there's not a case that we're risking frying the grid here, thankfully, but you might get voltage irregularities, and you may have some brownouts or blackouts that would be temporary because it can be reset. May experience surface charging and tracking problems. This is on spacecraft. Corrections may be needed for orientation problems. So what you're saying is charge can build up on the surface of the spacecraft itself and throw things off. Other systems, induced pipeline currents may affect preventative measures. So you can have currents in pipelines, rail lines, power lines. Currents actually occur in these lines. It would be the E3 component of electromagnetic pulse. HF radio propagation, sporadic, that's high frequency radio. Satellite navigation degrades. Oh, this is interesting, for hours. Low frequency radio navigation disrupted, and aurora may be seen as low as Alabama, Northern California. So there you go. So this says that you might see aurora as low as Alabama. I have seen aurora here in Alabama. Maybe that's why they put that in, because I actually reported it to solar, some of my solar astronomer buddies when I saw it. So I called one of them. I said, "Hey, did we have a strong solar storm last night?" And he says, "Why do you ask?" I said, "Because I saw the aurora." And he said, "Yes, we did." Rob Suggs was his name, old buddy of mine. Anyway, so here we are, guys. While minor geomagnetic storms are likely to have very little effect on Earth, one that is classified a G5 could produce potentially devastating impacts. For example, some power grid systems could completely collapse, causing widespread outages. And some of the satellite navigation systems would have difficulties for days. Someone could be fried. Thankfully, G5 storms are rare, it says. And but it refers to Carrington event of 1859, where we all know, and I've reported many times, that it had sparks and fires starting in some of the telegraph stations, indeed. And we do know that a G5 storm could take down the power grids worldwide. If it's strong enough, it could fry them all. So that is what you got to worry about. Look at that, guys. Isn't that pretty? Well, now Lee's got some video, or did a little bit ago. Let's see if he still got it up. Yeah, this is, he can't say live on his channel because they don't allow him to do that. But this is some pictures. That says March 23rd. Maybe that's not too live. All right, this is Lee's channel as it is right now. And he's showing like 3 different views of these auroras. Well, that looks kind of, you can see it moving right there in this one. These may be photographs here. University of Alaska Fairbanks. Yeah, that's a photograph. That's a photograph. But you can see it moving and shimmering right here. That's from further south. I can't read where that's from. Mount something. Mount. Yeah. I can't read it. Is anybody in his room that can tell us what that is? Protection systems for fire alarms. There you go. Could have a problem. Yeah, so these are beautiful. I used to live in Alaska. I've definitely seen them. I've seen them where it looked like God poured watercolors in the sky and just ran his hands through it. In fact, the night I saw the best aurora I ever saw was the night I went with my buddy Ed Kiker and visited and saw Gerard K. O'Neill. The photograph in the daytime is Donetsk. That's over in Ukraine. So, type of message here. Hi, Lee. We dropped in for a minute. Don't mind us watching. Got him muted. Unmute it for as soon as I hit that in case he says something. All right, let's unmute. I may not be watching. Right there at the desk. the camera. Get the volume down a little bit. Say hi, I'm gonna say bye. Hold up for a second again, just so you can see the Aurora. Yeah, this one is pretty near time. It looks like you can see it shimmering. Still can't tell what it says now here. Mount something. It starts to decay. Can't read it though. We're going to leave that. And I'm going to stop the share. There's a lot of other stuff we could talk about today. It's been a crazy day in the world news with Russia and the United States. The tensions are still going up, guys. The tensions are really ratcheting up in toward war. Medvedev has been his usual self, making all kind of nuclear threats. I thought about doing some videos on that, and I thought, man, it's going to be too late for him to get on. So I thought I ain't gonna do it tonight because I'll be coming on too late, and I come on tonight anyway. When I heard this about the solar storm, it's like, okay, I owe it to my followers. So I'll tell you that I will keep you aware of breaking news, and this is definitely breaking news. Twitch does raids. What is that? That's the can't hydrogen be made through some sort of yeah, absolutely, electrolysis that produces hydrogen and oxygen. Blackwater Prepper grade just came over from KLW. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's in Maine. Oh, that's where New Days is at. She can probably walk out and see that. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. She's asleep right now, though, because she's been looking after somebody. All right, Kathy Humphreys. That's why she's not in here being a mod. She's just Matterman. Snow Raven, good to see you. Ricky. Some transformers go boom, big blue flashes. Yep, might do it. Halo from Boogertown, Tennessee. Matterman, good to see you. That's my people from all over town. So if you like boogers, you'll like Boogertown, Tennessee. Bargain Town, USA. That's the song I got that from. All right, guys. William, how you doing? Thanks for giving me a thumbs up. Scooby Snacks down in Australia. Well, I guess, I don't know, you might get some stuff down off Antarctica coming up. I imagine there's a similar storm down there. Jesse, I don't have any predictions. I expect as long as that coronal hole is moving away, beginning to move away from us. So I don't know how long this will go on. Like the forecast said for G4 storms. Let's go back to that. Share screen. Ding, 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 ding. Hang on, guys. So we got a G4. That's what it's telling us. For those just joining, yeah, let's just walk back through this real quick for those that's just joined. I'll have to shrink this a little bit because Zoom won't let me hit the tabs on my stuff. I don't know why Zoom. I keep moving the tabs on Zoom. It's aggravating. All right, here we are. This is a KP index of 7.67. And it says we got a solar storm of G4. So it's red. Now I see red down here is 8 to 9. That's why Lee says it's 8, because that's the color code and they gave it. So if you come over here, again, here's the alert. So we got a G4 alert. This is a camera from New Mexico, actually seeing this, or saw it as a still shot. Oh man, that's pretty. All right. This is what we got on the sun that you can see from the disk. And the sunspots, you know, this 3256 and 3257, they really died down. When they were on the other side of the storm, they kicked out something like a Carrington level event. Fortunately, it went the other way and not our way. We got lucky, as I said earlier. This is the origin of our storm right now. This thing was aimed more directly at us, and it spewed this stuff out. Even from this direction, it could be spewing stuff out to be hitting us. So these coronal holes put out very significant solar wind. Solar wind can cause solar storms like a coronal mass ejection, although I think a coronal mass ejection can be a lot worse because this actual material. All right. So G4, once again, possible. Somebody's asking about prediction. So here we are. Possible widespread voltage control problems with some protective systems will mistakenly trip. All right, so it's not saying it would be damage to the grid. G5 could fry the grids. G5. Well, see, the problem is these levels are really gross, G1 through 5. G5 is probably ought to be broken down to about 5 or 6 or 7 of its own subclasses, because they're just anything above the G4 is a G5. And we know them to be very powerful storms. So there we are, guys. This is what you got to be concerned with. This is a report on the G5s from Newsweek. Basically saying that this could take out the grid. Some grid systems could completely collapse. You know that we had that storm in Quebec of the Quebec hydro event back in 1989 that took down Quebec's power grid. That was probably a weaker G5 storm. All right, here was Lee's channel again. She's watching October Sky. Cool. All right. Yeah, I know the guy that did October Sky. All righty, guys. Yeah, he used to be here in Huntsville. That is it for tonight on this stuff. Let's see. It's almost 3 a.m. Jesse Applegate, thanks for answering. Greg, I saw a picture of auroras as far south as Payson, Utah, about an hour ago. Okay, I wouldn't doubt it because they've seen it in New Mexico. Did Iran really attack American troops? I haven't seen that, Red Legs. I hope not. Water grid is underground. That's not going to help. That is not going to help, my friends. Having the grid underground is not going to help. The Soviet Test 184 burned out a long underground power grid in Kazakhstan. It was buried deep. So EMP, it will go underground. So all these guys think stuff underground is protected. No. We've had undersea cables taken out, underground power cables taken out. Yeah, it goes down. So it will not help you. Greg, now is that solar wind? Yeah, solar wind. Solar wind. Oh, I get what you mean. The sun's breaking wind. Okay, you're funny, Jesse. All right. We launched on Syria. Uh-oh. Dang it. I just checked the news a little bit ago. I didn't see it. But it's been over a couple hours since I checked the news. I thought I wasn't going to do anything tonight, but yeah, it's morning time over there. So new news is breaking. Where's new at? Yeah. Let me see what I can see something on this. Yep, U.S. military carries out airstrikes in Syria after drone attack. Oh, there we are, guys. U.S. military carries out airstrikes in Syria after drone attack terminates a U.S. contractor. All right, guys. We shouldn't have been over there in the first place in Syria. So, yep, guys, things can ratchet up. If you think things can't ratchet up, you're not paying attention. Yep. Several troops are injured. It says here, 2 U.S. wounded service members were treated on site, while 4 other Americans were medically evacuated. So that makes 6. U.S. intelligence assessed that the one attack drone that struck the base was Iranian in origin. So they struck in Syria, probably Iranian assets in Syria. All right, guys, this is serious. I'll do a more in-depth report on this tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to get more stories. The Earth acts like a huge capacitor, don't it? Well, the atmosphere is like a capacitor because the upper atmosphere is like positive charge and the Earth is like a negative charge between them. And the atmosphere is kind of like a dielectric. Red Legs, one kind. Yep. Lee is a former U.S. DoD contractor, right? I was in the military, and I served as I actually served as a U.S. Army civil servant for a brief period of time when I was working missile defense, and then an Army contractor and a contractor doing work on Army systems. And I've also worked on some Air Force systems, and most of my time's been NASA related, though, including most of the last 20 years. Subscribe. Thanks for the video. Staying active. Well, thank you, Jesse. So I'm trying to get you guys up to spar. Thank y'all for bringing up this about Syria, because that's just happened. I was trying to turn in early tonight, not doing news video tonight, but the sun brought me out even at night. The sun brought me out even at night. Oh, yeah, there's disabled veteran. Bless your heart there, Joe. Joe. Sleepy Joe. All right, Red Legs Iran is about to get it. Yeah, so guys, that's just it. Netanyahu wants to strike Iran. He really wants to strike Iran. And he's got some threshold. We know Iran's running hard as they can toward that threshold of having, they've already got uranium enriched over 60%. They're like 2 weeks away from having it enriched enough to build a nuclear device. How long before they could build a bomb? Yeah, the clock is ticking on that. The downside is that if we hit Iran, and it could happen just over this, if we get into it with Iran, guys, we can feel the effects right here at home, just like we're seeing attacks on our infrastructure right now, possibly with power grid and trains. Just wait till those 20 some odd sleeper cells that the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard talked about, which he said was going to take down our power substations, not plink at them, but take them down. Yeah, we'll be in serious trouble, guys, serious trouble. This probably won't affect small electronics too much. This is more of a G3 type event. Solar storms give you G3 type radiation. Affects long conductors like long power cables, pipelines, and rail lines. It takes a G1 part of an EMP, which the sun don't produce, to take out smaller electronics. U.S. needs to have a Iraq War 2.0 regime change. Yeah, they got stuff here. That's the problem. They got sleeper cells, and we think several other countries do too. From what I've seen, I think North Korea's got them here. I think China has got them all over the place. We got a lot of potential pockets of mayhem in this country. So, like the old wars where everything happened overseas, don't bank on that anymore. We may have severe trouble right here. Severe trouble. And that is without having a nuclear war. If we go nuclear, well, it's a game over, guys. But guys, I gotta tell you something. I just saw an article today. I'll share it with y'all probably tomorrow night. Maybe. My daughter's taking me out to birthday dinner tomorrow night. So if I get back early enough, there's an article that I've seen today I could have shared with y'all, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't get all these articles lined up tonight. It's that nasty thing that's coming on. But the article pertains to the fact that somebody's talking about the effects of radiation, a physicist, and he says, hey, a nuclear power plant going into meltdown is far worse than a nuclear bomb going off. Nuclear war. And that's what I've been telling you guys. He's just, this is an article that's come out months, maybe a year or two after I started telling you guys this stuff. Because I've been telling you guys that the nuclear power plants are far worse. An EMP taking out our power grid will kill more people than a full-scale nuclear war. An EMP won't kill anybody initially. Nobody, not initially. But in the end, it will take out more people than a full-scale nuclear war. And I don't care if you're hiding up in your cabin, you got all your preps, you better be way on the ground and willing to stay there for decades. So I get always like, hey, I'm not worried about it. I'm off grid. I don't need power. No, you're gonna get radiation, and you're gonna get all them zombies coming out of the city looking to eat you, because all the other food's gonna run out real fast. So you're gonna be the main course. Of course, you'll be the main course. Of course, that's what I'm telling you guys. You gotta get ready for. And we're looking. Yeah, there's another article I saw today. Well, my birthday was a few days ago, but thank you there, Tim. My daughter was in New York City, so she wasn't able to take me out then with her mama. Let's see. A meltdown never stops melting. That's the problem. It's a gift that just keeps giving. Once the meltdown starts, it's going to keep the radiation spewing for a long time. Look, I did the videos on nuclear survival. Y'all really need to go in and see them. I've done the videos on what power grid going down would do on our nuclear power plants. I've covered both different videos for the most part, but I've talked about them. And guys, that's exactly the problem. And in nuclear war, most of the radiation is gone in 2 weeks. If you don't set off the power plants, the problem is in nuclear war, it's probably going to cause them to go on a meltdown. Those are EMPs associated, and the infrastructure be whacked. So if there's not some way to keep the cooling water flowing, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. That's what I've been telling you guys. And we are, there's estimates. A lot of people are really coming out now and saying they're really expecting a nuclear war by 2020, or a World War III with China by 2025. More and more people are saying that. And that's something else I could have shown y'all tonight, and we'll probably show y'all next time. So, guys, people, things are building up around here like crazy. Even though most of the country's housing market may be starting to slump, right here it's still booming. If I'm going to sell this house, this is probably the best time to do it. If I were to do it 2 years from now, prices might be slumped again because the stock market is going to crash. But I live in a defense town. NASA's big in Huntsville, but the Army's bigger. And missiles, we do missile defense right here. Missiles, all the Army missile program is managed right in that direction. About 19 miles that way. That's where all the missiles for the Army are developed. And that includes HIMARS and a lot of stuff. You're scared again, huh, Anton? Well, Elon, take me to Mars. Yeah, there you go. Well, Elon may be dragging. He may not be going fast enough. He may be too late. So, yeah, Elon's the biggest prepper on Earth. He's prepping to go the big bug out, the long bug out. He's going the planet's color of my shirt. I'll say Venus is easier to get to, though. People say nuke plants are safe. They're not when the grid goes down. Yeah, they're safe as long as there's infrastructure to keep them running. If you got the infrastructure to keep it running, but when all the infrastructure goes, game over. Game over. That's why, I work around nuclear plants. Yeah, that's why we got to worry about them. Hey, I lived in Fort Greeley. We had a reactor core just a couple, block from where I was sitting all the time. But my buddy Ed Kiker that I mentioned earlier actually buried that reactor core in some mountains up in Alaska. Supposed to be, tens of thousands of zero geological formations. It's supposed to last for a long time. HIMARS, do it again. There you go. He's also the richest prepper. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, there's several other rich people that are preppers. Bill Gates has got major underground facilities in several areas, including this place at Helm in Redmond, Washington, and other places. He's got quite a substantial. The guy who developed ChatGPT, Altman, he's been a prepper for a long time. Greg, do you see if they have go over and see if they have any openings where with Elon. Elon's not in this town because of Senator Shelby was really fighting him so hard. But who has moved in this town is Blue Origins. The song stuck in your head. There you go. You blame Lee. What are you blaming Lee for? For the storm? Or for the song being stuck in your head? He plays it all the time. That little HIMARS song. Yeah, that was developed right down here. HIMARS, a lot of other stuff. I'm coming your way. Okay, David. Well, I'm probably going to get out of here. So that's what I'm really debating. If we're going to have a war with China in 2 years, if it goes nuclear, this is going to be zombie land. I mean, right? They got so many people moved in around here. Greg, why aren't you sleeping? Well, because there's a solar storm I was going to turn in, and I decided to cover it, guys. So I'm here for you. Yeah. Lee called me and says, "You up?" And I said, "Yeah, I was about to go to bed." He says, "Well, the KP index is 8." I said, "Oh, geez." So I looked it up, went outside to see if I could see the storm. I come back in here and got a few screens up for you guys to look at, and went live. So that's it. Yeah, I'll go to bed in a minute. So now I'm woke up by all this stuff. Yeah, I was getting sleepy tonight. That's why I thought I wasn't going to come on here. That's why I didn't rack up all the articles I normally show y'all or do the last minute news checks. So we got 193 in here. Wow, you can come here any hour and I get a lot of people, right? That's very good. Yep. So guys, we got to be careful, guys. We are at risk of war. There's several things that take our grid down. The sun. If you don't think the sun can take our grid down, you're not paying attention. And if we don't do anything to get our grid hardened, it will get us sooner or later. And there's a lot of there is what we have in the United States is we have two groups that are supposedly in charge of grid defense. They actually charge of it. We have NERC and FERC. NERC is the National Electric Reliability Corporation. FERC is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. FERC is federal, NERC is private, but they got it now. This would be like a regulator and a regulatee normally, and even our federal government, the regulator agencies and regulatee companies and industry tend to have a very incestuous relationship where there's revolving doors between them. People will go to, government guys will retire and the government go to the corporations because they were over here as decision makers. They get huge pay. People over here to get their tickets checked will go to the government, work for the government for a while now, and they'll just revolve. And as long as they're doing that, the relationship is not one that's helping you or me. It's not like the regulator is making sure that the regulatee is living up to standards. They're doing what they can to make sure they get a good job when they go over there and back and forth. So it's a kissy waste of money and a huge thing of corruption in our system that causes the proper things to never happen. They don't look after you. They look after themselves. They look after their wallets, their bottom lines, and they're paid to do that with your tax money. So, and our taxes are way too high, right? And that's the kind of junk they're going for. Well, they got a special case with the power grid. It's even worse. In the case of the power grid, this NERC organization, National Electric Reliability Corporation, got it set up where FERC can't pass their own regulations. They have to be proposed by NERC. NERC comes up with the regulation, and all FERC can do is rubber stamp it. They can't. They got it so FERC can't even come up with stuff. You believe that? This is more incestuous than a typical regulatee organization. And on top of that, they've got this thing called EPRI. EPRI, does some good work, but one of the things they've done is they have come up with reports by really non-scientists and people that aren't really qualified to report on so well, although it's been reported by some other YouTube channels, thinking that's who they are. Look, I got the inside track. I'm on the EMP Commission on National and Homeland Security set up by Dr. Peter Pry. We just had a teleconference today. And I'm here to tell you that the people that have been producing some of those reports for these outfits really aren't qualified to be out there saying what they're saying. Well, we got real scientists that have been involved in actual testing of these things, and our findings are quite a bit different than what EPRI puts out, okay? So don't fall for them. Oh, everything's okay. Go back to sleep. Don't worry your pretty little head stuff, because there's very big vulnerabilities in our power grid. Like the FDA and the drug companies, worse. That's the problem. It's actually worse. But yeah, kind of similar, but worse. And this is happening all over the federal government. You got a federal agency that funds private corporations, like contractually, like the military or NASA funding corporate, or worse yet, where you got a regulatee like FDA and drug companies. FDA shouldn't be funding those guys, but they actually do. They get studies done all the time, and they fund them for the studies. So, but yeah, there's revolving doors. So if you think these three-letter regulator agencies are helping you, no. Now that's the interesting thing. That's another article. I scan hundreds of articles of these guys. the FBI is actually accusing the CIA sweeping under the rug things about 911. I kid you not. I'm not a fan of either organization, okay? But, hey, we're having a little bit of a war between agencies, a little parochial spat, it seems. But anyway, so I'm sure there's something behind that because the management of both are highly woke. Wild Amos Dutch Dooley, LOL, I just finished a Monroe Institute exercise. There you go. There you go. David Potter, I pulled up a wind generator a week ago. It's helping. All right. Yep. Sometimes you gotta have both. And then sometimes neither one's going to do any good. Like if it gets really cold when you need it the most. Like Texas found that when their wind generator gearboxes froze and the solar rays recovered and people needed power and they didn't get it. And even their gas plants shut down. And they had a lot of, they lost people in Texas. People passed away because of it, quite a few, a couple of years ago. And nearly happened again. I mean, they came with just seconds of a complete grid down, fry grid asset kind of catastrophe in Texas. It came really close to being a lot worse than it was. So, what did Greg say about him? Say about who, Albia? Say about who? You did. You're crazy. I'm scared too. I'll probably have to break through first try and not get back. Oh, Dutch. Don't be scared. Be prepared. FDIC. Yeah. Well, how much money FDIC's got? They're about to spend it all. Taxes on taxes. No kidding there, Juanita. Juanita's Georgia, Florida. Yeah, Eric Lee. Let's see. .co.com. Those beach ones. Lots of insomniacs. So love you, Greg. Well, thank you. Still, what you fussing about? Something you may not like, huh? Greg, go over and see if they have Joe. So they're there. All right, so scroll through that. The angry Lee, some people are. Oh, suspicious observers. Yeah, somebody asked me about them. I said, don't even mention them in my chat room. I ain't got nothing for them. So, I'm go back and watch my prepping, surviving a Chan Thomas event video or bug out, Chan Thomas bug out, whatever you called it, way back a couple of years ago. I shot holes, a zillion unrecoverable holes through their whole paradigm. So it's just don't happen. What they claim is all washed out. Don't happen. Things don't work that way. And hasn't. Stuff they say has happened has not happened. And I got geological, absolute, irrefutable proof for that. So, and I mentioned it in a couple of videos. I don't want to make that my point. I'm not in here to, this platform will actually destroy a channel if you start trashing another channel. That's probably one reason Lee has so much trouble. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into that. But just, yeah, don't put too much faith in suspicious observers. I ain't got no use for them. Even though he's very popular here amongst you guys. Guys, you're not watching my videos. That's what that tells me. Greg, how are your worms? Well, they're trying to breed back. Keith in Arizona. I'm on bare minimum off grid, 2 panels. There you go. Well, I might be joining you soon. Texas, Cycle Billy. That's a good one. Hey, Greg, how you been? That's a good one. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling out here, guys. I'm really thinking about it. I got a prospect for somebody that might take over my worm and especially microgreens and mushroom operations. But my experience from a lot of other people has not been great. Now, she might do it, but, guys, paranoid observers, there you go. How about ill-informed observers? No, I dished out pretty hard on here a little bit ago. There's nothing intelligent about it, Medical Toolkit. Those guys are the opposite of intelligent. Like I said, Medical Toolkit, I totally destroyed, irrefutably, their basic premises. Completely, totally, utterly destroyed them with irrefutable proof they can never crawl back from. But they'll keep putting their crap out, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. If you want to find out, go back and watch my videos. It's there. It's been on YouTube for some long time. That's y'all keep dragging me back into that. So don't come in here bragging about those guys. There you go, Steffens. Come in here giving them all kind of credit. I know they're real popular. I may lose 1,000 subscribers tonight over this video just because I said what I said, because I know y'all love him. But how about open your eyes and go back and watch my videos where I talked about that. Would that be Lee that was running around installing the 5G network, saying that EMF couldn't possibly harm anyone? I'm talking about somebody else here. Do red worms have yellow blood? No, it's red. 12,000 watt power amp. Okay. You've known who for 10 years, Jacob? I'm not ratting on Lee. I'm ratting on Ben Davidson. Is that what you're talking about, Jacob? If you're a Ben Davidson fan, and most of you are, when I look at channels that are watching my channels, Ben Davidson ranks very high. And that means you just don't watch my videos. If you watch my video on that Chan Thomas survival video that I did, or bug out video I did way back a couple of years ago when I was asked to do one, you would not be watching him anymore. You would forget his channel so fast you wouldn't. It would be faster than E1 Pulse. Oh, knocking stuff over. You would be out. So go back and find that video. Ben, oh, so you've been watching Ben for 10 years. Well, I'm sorry, Ben, Jacob. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. All right, guys. Ben Davidson's stuff is nutty. Pseudoscience, things do not work that way. And a lot of the things he claimed, I got irrefutable evidence that they did not happen at all. And they're presented. I mentioned in another video or two. Never heard of them. Well, you're okay. Try claiming and monetizing the work of others. It wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Hey, Eric, thank you. Still love your talk. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Mr. C's, you ain't ratting on anyone. You're giving professional opinions. I am a professional. There you go. Gets over, yeah, $1,000 in super chats. Yeah, he does. He gets huge super chats. He's got all these people just believe him. Just because he just keeps spewing junk, trash. And there's a whole army of trolls. When you say something bad about him, well, my channel will probably start getting attacked like crazy. Thank you, Spunky. Oh, you watch Falmer? That's Lee's favorite channel, right? Don't think we watched them. Yeah, there you go. Well, I wouldn't bother with it. Wouldn't bother with it. Let his crowd keep worshiping him. They think he's the smartest thing. Cheddar. There we go. See, I love that name. Cheddar Pepper Prepper. Oh, that's a mouthful. Cheddar Pepper Prepper. Cheddar pepper and pepper go well together. Hot pepper and cheddar. That's awesome. Before we have a Carrington event or EMP, I'm thinking of putting my LV2424 power supply inverter in a trash can. There you go. There you go. Put a block or something in the bottom or a chunk of wood and put some cardboard around the edges so it don't touch the metal inside the trash can. And you could put it inside a Faraday bag and put it on that. That'll give you double protection, and you have a little better protection. Get you some aluminized tape and put it around the trash can lid. That'll make it even stronger, even better. So there you go. My brain is rotten. Uh-oh. Yeah, we don't use wordy dirts in this channel. This is a family channel, guys. We keep that in mind. We're a family channel. Jacob, however, until anything is past the rigors of scientific method becomes theory, then law. It's all subjective, up to the viewer interpretation. Jacob, okay, no. When some stuff can be absolutely refuted and disproven, like a lot of things he claims, he's out. He's out. He is plumb out, finished, done, kaput. Go back and watch the videos I asked you. Go back and look through my channel and find them. The one on surviving the Chan Thomas bug. No, he's washed out. And I show several ways and reasons why. I mean, quit bringing that crap up. Just anything, yes, a positive, just anything. It's like if you're going to run a distillery, the heavy stuff don't go to the top, it goes to the bottom. If you believe that the sun crust over with silicon, you don't understand physics. No distillery would operate that way, because the sun's made of mostly hydrogen. The heavy stuff goes down. Is it going to crust up? And then because it gets overcrusted, it's going to go into a micronova and blow silicon all over the moon. But that wasn't even my point of my discussion. I didn't even mention that one in that other video. That's not even mentioned. But the caverns all over the world would not be what they are today had we been having these 2-mile-high tidal waves. Go watch the video. We have in stone, pure, irrefutable evidence that his claims are all washed out. In stone, all over the planet. So just anything doesn't go. I am sorry. If you believe that, then you need to go watch my videos. And if you still believe it, I'm sorry for you. That's all I got to say. If you want to believe that, fine. I don't care what you believe in reality, but don't try to tell me what it is. Get some good lead tape. There you go. Thank you, Red Legs. Ben subs. Go to sleep. There you go, Steffords. All right, here. All right, peace, Jacob. I go along with that. I mean, I really don't care what you believe, but if you're going to go around making claims about it, and look, guys, I'm an engineer. An engineer is an applied scientist. That means we take science and we apply it to the real world to make it work. That's what I am. I've been an engineer. I'm a subject matter expert in my field. I've been an engineer for decades. And I know and understand science. One of the things I did in that video was I calculated how many Hiroshima hydrogen bombs it would take to evaporate 600 feet of seawater to be compliant with Doug Vogt's crazy ideas. Yeah, I shoot down Doug Vogt and Ben Davison and that whole crowd. I mean, yeah, I literally nuke their suppositions. And the idea that, well, you don't get evaporation in the ice age is wrong too, because if you ever notice when you see the most evaporation from a pond, let's drive around and see. Did you see water evaporating off ponds in summertime? No, but in wintertime, oh yeah. Because there's a difference in temperature between the water and the surface. There's a lot of stuff that they missed. Yeah, I get it. Doug Vogt was trying to answer a question, but he had blinders on when he came up with his answer. That was his problem. Yeah, there was something that was troubling him. He tried to answer it, but he went down a wrong rabbit hole. So I don't support Doug Vogt or Ben Davison and that stuff. Anyway, and I throw enough stuff in that video to answer those questions irrefutably. I mean, at first I went, well, okay, well, let me check this stuff out. When I started hearing this stuff, I started looking around and checking, and no. I gave him the benefit of the doubt very temporarily. Trolls are watching us 24/7. They are there. I know Jason's not a troll. He did. Look, guys, a lot of people, look, if you don't really know the science the way I do, and in the, the physics, and if you're not investigating it, you know, these guys tell us a story. They tell quite a story, and you know, and if you don't know any different, it sounds plausible. You know, they tell you they're the smartest people on earth, and everybody else are idiots. And then they'll say, "This is why, and we got proof," and blah 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 blah. And so they got their own little universe, their own little worldview built up. The only problem is it's built on sand. Air pressure movement, and yes, our atmosphere is leaking. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. If you had a solar storm like that hit Earth, we wouldn't have any atmosphere left either. That's one of the others. And there's several things that I didn't even mention in that video, like the whole crust and sun, what it would do to our atmosphere. I think I touched on that a little bit, but I didn't really go into great depth on it. Yeah, I could go back and do another video on it, whole topic. But it's not the purpose of my channel to trash other channels, okay? Actually, I've had somebody ask me to come on and do a video for that purpose, and I declined it. So, you know, we got better things to do, guys. I'm not here to trash the channels, but if y'all bring it up and y'all say, "Oh yeah, go watch this guy because he's got all the answers," and you know, I'm liable to say something about it at that point. But you know, I'm not here for that purpose. Diamond. Now there's a dude who knows the science and truth, says Eric. Diamond's cool. But you know, I'm not here to trash other people. That's not my purpose, because life's too short, to be honest. You know, but if y'all really want to know what I think about something, and on one occasion I was asked what to do for a bug out for a Chan Thomas event. And I actually said, okay, if this occurs, here's what you do. But I also said it ain't gonna happen. Not like that. Not likely. That's not to say there couldn't be events that would give you a 2-mile high tidal wave, but I'll tell you what, there's not been one in 35 million years come through here. Certainly not ever 12,000 years. And I can prove it irrefutably with stone. Irrefutable. Your channel? What do you mean, hello, America? Come on. So, yeah, I think it's time to go to bed. Now y'all got me riled up. I won't go to sleep. 3 a.m. I should have just lined up all my news stuff and talked it. So guys, what am I here for? I'm here to tell you that you got to get yourself ready, that we are in, well, I started this channel to be an urban gardening channel. Honestly, Green Greg's was about urban gardening. If you watch my intro video, that's what I'm talking about. But somebody discovered that I'd run 2 Power Grid Defense conferences, and they asked about that. And suddenly all the preppers signed up. I had a lot of preppers on board. And that's why how I went to, I probably knew it because that's what I was talking about when I first did the videos with Rex Bear on Leak Project, because I went on there to appeal to people for my Power Grid Defense Conference, one of them. And, you know, and Rex and I hit it off. Rex is a lot of fun. Rex is a lot of fun to be around, guys. There's no lie about that. I'm rolling out earlier. Yeah. All right. Good night. I got to get up too. 12 or 13 subs. All right, David, what do you got posted? Everybody check David out. Check him out, guys. See what he's got on his channel. Give him a sub. Just for the fun of it. Go sub to David tonight. See what he got on Life Under Gas. There you go. I thought about doing a video channel on doing video channels. I ain't got time to do that. Maybe one day I might do that. I've got 3 channels that are now monetized. But my topic area, when you cover what's going on in the world and you don't do it from the woke perspective, oh my God, the platform stomps you. Stomps you. It no like you. So that'd be one advice. Don't do that. So yeah, Rex is a lot of fun, man. He is a lot of fun to be with. You know, he and I had a lot of fun out in California doing the videos with for that special that's on Weather Channel. And actually, I got him into that. But he's got quite a few gigs going on his own. Money is dirty, love is hard. There you go, Bandit. Rex and I had a lot of good times out there, and we did some videos and of some of it. one of them I took down because people didn't like it because, you know, it didn't fit the general nature of this channel. And yeah, where we were at the Devil's Gate Down. That was weird. Oh, I had a lot of people unsubscribing and getting in there and just complaining about it. So I took it off. I deleted it, which I should have hidden it instead of deleted it. Because Rex did not record it, and that he was not happy about that. But anyway, it's actually a good video. It was crazy. But Rex gets jacked in some of his videos. Well, that's another thing. Some of my people didn't like. You know, I got some people that don't go for some of that stuff, but you know, hey, I believe in freedom. You know, I'm not going to judge other people. I got enough business just keep taking care of myself. I'm busy enough just taking care of myself, guys. You know, I do have definitely a conservative bent, mainly in the world in the world of government expenditures and physical things and freedom. But freedom shouldn't be conservative or liberal. Suddenly, we got the liberal guys against freedom is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Oh, bro, you're up late. Yeah, it's true, CR. Jacob, lastly, I followed GG channel for a few months. First time in chat watching, I had no clue about the vitriol for being my fault. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'll try not to. Yeah, I don't make a, you know, I don't come out talking about it, but when somebody prompts me, and I probably got a little over prompted earlier. I should have kept my mouth shut. So we've been going for 66 minutes. So the thing is, the sun is acting up. The sun has given us a solar storm. It's a G4 storm. A G5 storm could be devastating to our power grid. I was most expected G5 storm not to come from a coronal hole, but I don't know. The sun's got some surprise up its sleeves that may show something we've never seen before, not in the recorded history. It might be we got a super coronal hole. I don't know, guys. This coronal hole business is rather strange. We've been expecting a coronal mass ejection would be the operative thing that would take our grid down. And we saw just recently the same sunspots that's facing us right now when they were on the other side of the sun just a couple of weeks ago, a few days ago, threw out a solar storm that could have taken our grid down. Luckily, it was aimed in the other direction. By luck, I'm here talking to you guys tonight. Pure, sheer luck. When you look at the effects of what the sun could do, when you look at the effects of what war can do, when you look at the fact that we're on the verge of war with Iran, Russia, North Korea, China, any one of these 4 countries have things they could do to take our power grid down. Then you throw in the sun. It's like we're playing Russian roulette with a 6-shooter and 5 chambers are loaded. How long and how many times can we spin that revolver and pull the trigger and be okay? I'm just asking, how many times the deck is stacked against us, guys? That's why I'm saying the grid is at severe risk. And the grid goes down, we're all at severe risk. I don't care if you're holed up in a mountain and got preps out the wazoo and they're totally off grid. Because if the nuke plant's going to melt down, it's worse than a full-scale nuclear war. It's what I've been trying to explain to everyone. It's worse than a full-scale nuclear war. And I had a physicist just put out an article today saying the same thing. So I've been telling you guys that for 2 years now, maybe 3. I've known it since I ran those things. I presented that at one of my Power Grid Defense conferences before I ever started this channel. Yeah, they're all allied now. I mean, we kind of pushed them together. Russia and China are not natural friends, and once we're off the picture, they're going to fight each other. And if it don't go nuclear, the upper hand will be on China's side. I think Russia's got going for it. It's nukes. And I said in a video a couple of years ago that the United States ought to have a peace treaty with Russia and ally to watch China together. And it was before they invaded Ukraine. They invaded Ukraine because they thought we would invade them. If we had a peace treaty with them, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Oh, well. Thank you, State Department. Thank you, Mr. President. for being such a good steward and statesmanship to steer us clear of nuclear war, which we seem to be falling down the hole for. Oh yeah. If loss of power grid is not enough, what about the loss of our and wrecking of our economy? Because our money is about to go off the world reserve because the M2 supply is dropping like a rock. It's way below 2% now. Scientists always created something like a Great Depression, very, very depressionary thing. While we're having inflation and depression at the same time. I mean, that's worse than stagflation. It's like unheard of. I'll explain why later and why. I was planning to do a video on this, just why it is that the Fed is totally wrong. Yikes, guys. So transform Venus. Hey, I got this Venetian habitat concept for these floating cities in Venus based on my universal habitat concept. I got that. Go to Galactic Gregs and look at Colonize Venus First. Settled Venus First video. So go to my Galactic Gregs channel and check that out. CBD, yeah, new digital dollar. Hey, what's his name? Senator Texas. Come on, guys, help me out. Not Rubio, the one from Texas. Senator, shoot. He ran for president. Guys, help me. I got brain lock right now. He actually proposed a law to ban CBDCs. Senator, oh man, I'm getting brain locked. You know, as another, I had a litany of articles I could have shared tonight. I had planned to come on. Wernher von Braun. He was not the director of NASA. He was the director of the Marshall Space Flight Center down the road here, which was NASA's most powerful, largest center. He never was the director of NASA. I read Bitcoin got a drop. Okay. Remember who, but Nate, the Canadian prepper, is now learned of Greg and GG. Is he cool or no? I like Nate. Lee don't like him, but I like him. He's not, he's a little bit on the, you know, he still believes in global warming is one of our greatest warming. He thinks global warming is one of our greatest threats, though. So bless his heart. So however you spell it, but he's actually a good analyst. I give a lot of credit to Nate. He sees through a lot of stuff before a lot of other people do. He's a good analyst. He really is. The man, yeah. I need to go. Y'all got me all round up. My grandfather met von Braun. He worked on the V2. Your grandfather worked on the V2. It means your grandfather would be German. Challenger missions. Yeah, von Braun was in charge of the program that developed the V2. You got Southern Prepper 1. There you go. Titan's a better option to colonize. It's a long way off, Anton, and it's very cold. Oh, look, if you are at 50 kilometers in the Venus atmosphere, about 30 kilometers, the air pressure and the temperature are just like walking outside. Mars is cold and there's no air. The pressure on Mars is almost a vacuum. It's 1/100th the pressure of outside. And it's extremely cold on Mars. So yeah, I'm from global warming. There you go, Tom. You got it. Yeah, I love Nate. In fact, Nate's quoted me several times. I thought he was going to have me on the show. And we've had a lot of the same guests. I usually get him before he does. A lot of the same guests. But now he's taken some of my guests and gave him a huge platform. He's such a big channel. He's like, 100 times bigger than me. I don't know. So it's always good if any of my guests get on his channel. I'm cheering them on because that gives them a good platform. So I like Nate for these things. Nate means well. He's a good guy. He's smart. You don't have to agree with everybody on everything. There's nobody out there I agree with 100%. But there's some I disagree with more, like what y'all talking about suspicious observers earlier. But let's see. Rex channel, what's the name? Leak Project Writer's Dust. Uncle met von Braun in Huntsville. Okay. What's the name? Wasn't that what NASA's called before it became NASA? NASA most of what was the root of NASA originally was, I think, NACA, National Aerospace. There was actually developing aircraft technologies. What was the C for? I forget. I knew that, but I can't remember right now. Von Braun, though, was never a part of that. He had the Army Ballistic Missile Agency right here. Started at Fort Bliss and brought it here to Huntsville. And so the NASA Center, the Marshall Space Flight Center, broke off from the Army. It was originally, in fact, for a long time, you can still find some tables at NASA Marshall Space Flight Center that had U.S. Army written on them. In fact, the property is on the Redstone Arsenal Army Base, for the Marshall Space Flight Center. Marshall Space Flight Center is the largest NASA center right now in employment. Sometimes the other JSCs had upper hand, but right now it's back to Marshall. And there used to be a lot of turf warfare, so Marshall's developed a lot of this stuff here. Greg, you are none stupid. It's nice to hear none only lies and intelligent stuff. That's why I listen. Okay. We try to keep it smart here. Robert Omo at CRU is 100% correct, safer here. So guys, I try to bring you smart stuff. I really do. Sun is supposed to engulf Earth. It will eventually, like maybe 4 or 5 billion years from now, but long before it grows into a super giant or red giant, it'll get too hot on Earth. The oceans will boil. They think maybe 500 million, like 500 million or a billion years from now, the Earth's oceans will actually boil as the sun gets hotter and hotter, as the sun fuses heavier and heavier elements. Some people will say, well, there's no fusion. Well, if you look at the core of the sun, anytime you put hydrogen under that much pressure, it's going to fuse. And we've done it with atom bombs. And in doing so, we created the hydrogen bomb. And we set up quite a few hydrogen bombs. The process works. Fusion does happen. And we've actually done a little bit of it in laboratories without an atomic bomb to instigate it, with huge magnetic fields and lasers. So it takes a lot of energy to compress 2 hydrogen atoms together to make them fuse and make helium. It takes even more pressure to fuse helium into into carbons and irons and heavy and heavier elements. That's what happens. Anyway, so there is a thing exploding, but it's far away from Betelgeuse, I guess. Oh yeah, Betelgeuse could go supernova anytime. It's a big red giant, and it's really acting up. In the sense it's a few hundred light years away. It may have already gone supernova. It may no longer exist in the time slice of now, but it takes so long for the light to get to us. We just don't know it yet. One day you may walk outside in the daylight and see Betelgeuse. If you see Betelgeuse in the daylight, you know she's going supernova. Be like a daylight star. Oh, wouldn't it be awesome? I'd love to see it, but boy, it would be a big hole in Orion after it's said and gone, right? There'll probably be a nebula there, though. The middle star and the saber of Orion is actually a nebula. Money, Philippines, God, Russians, hypersonic is superior at the moment. Actually, China probably has better hypersonics than Russia. Russia's hypersonics are all glide hypersonics. We're actually developing a scramjet system. Now, the Russian has got their Skyfall missile, which has a nuclear engine. That's scary. That thing can run forever. We started to develop one of those in the 50s, and we got scared of it and said it was not a smart thing to do, but Russia went ahead and did it. That's what, after the test, how do you turn it off? You have to ditch it somehow. And that's what they did. They had a radiation incident on tested firing one of those things. Betelgeuse is crusting. These stars don't crust, man. Maybe it's close and will be colonized. I wouldn't be colonizing a star unless it totally burns out. And then what are you gonna have? Now, but it might kick out a lot of stuff you can use material down the road for building space settlements. Anywho, Yeah, it's a few hundred light years. I think it's 600. I have to go back and double check something on that order. I think about 600 light years away. It's far enough away, it shouldn't really hurt us if it goes supernova. Poseidon sub. Oh, it's the Poseidon submarine, not the Poseidon torpedo. Jacob, that Poseidon torpedo is sized to be able to carry a full-scale Sarbama. Oh, and now Little Kim in North Korea. That's another article I could have carried. He's talking about he's got a drone that apparently can drop this stuff, nukes into the ocean offshore of the coastlines or close to our carrier fleets and kick up a radioactive tsunami. Yeah, not as big as Sarbama, but still radioactive tsunamis are nasty, guys. So, if you set off a Sarbama in the ocean, are any of the whales going to survive? I mean, you think about the sonic wave going through the water. I'd imagine, animals that have, sonar hearing, whales, dolphins, yeah, they're all going to be in severe trouble. Probably around the whole world, because the oceans will ring like a bell sonically for a long time after something like that set off. It would be devastating to sea life. Cannot state we're going to get another atmospheric river here. Oh, yeah, I heard another one's coming in, guys. Listen, go back to the 1860s. In the 1860s, the big valley there where Sacramento's at in California, it was on like 10 foot of water. There was a ginormous atmospheric river just drenched California. California's probably in all the groundwater y'all been mining out for your farms for the last several years, which just finally started drying out, probably came from that event. So maybe when all this is said and done, your farmers will be able to grow stuff again. But all the regulators, they got them just about shut out from, LA. I heard Saturn's moons have gone from, oh yeah, well, we're just finding more of them, Cindy. We're discovering more moons for these outer planets. My husband was supposed to go sailing this AM. Oh, I'm surprised they have any sea life. Yeah, well, a lot of our activities, some of the naval activities, and where they're testing to put in the windmills offshore off the coastline. They're using real heavy sonar or explosives or something. It's killing whales all over the East Coast. The whales are washing up dead from these things. So this is supposed to be environmentally nice and great and wonderful, and they chop up birds and kill whales. Lovely, just lovely. What's the Carrington event? The Carrington event occurred in 1859. And yeah, it was right after that we had an atmospheric river that just drenched California. I don't think the two were related, though. Just because two things happen in close proximity don't mean there's a cause and effect. It's not always the case. 1859 was only a year out. Okay. So, but we had a huge coronal mass ejection in 1821. It's known as the railroad event. It was thought by some to be only a tenth as powerful as the Carrington event, although there's still some debate on that. But it caused fires in some of the train stations. And, that current going through the rail lines, the E3 long wave part of the spectrum. That's what you get from the sun. Also, magnetic poles started to wander. Well, they're wandering more right now. And that's due to stuff going on inside of the Earth itself. Let's see. I am second generation Azorian. Okay. CR. I tell you what, when I got out of the Army, when I left Alaska, I went through the valley there, and that was some of the best fruits I ever saw in my life. I realized that's not the stuff y'all shipped to Alabama. Man, the raisins were plump. Even the dried raisins were plump and juicy. Oh my gosh. That was nice eating from the fruits that were growing there at the time. I really enjoyed that. 1981. That's when I drove through back in 1981. No, in 1983. That's when I got out of the Army, excuse me. I went to Alaska in 81. No birds have been killed by my windmill yet. Hey, I like you spinning bucket tops. I got a bunch of Bucket has. Maybe I'll take them to Arizona and make wind generators out of them. OFC military doing sonar whip test. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can take out the mammals that use acoustics to locate. That's the downside. All living things are sensitive to geomagnetic anomalies. Yeah, to some degree, CR. You know, there was a guy that wrote a paper on that who died of a heart attack right during a solar maximum event. What was that guy's name? That come to me later. But he was talking about that, and he succumbed to it. It's thought. So, all right, guys, I think we've been on here long enough. We've been on here for 84 minutes, almost an hour and a half. Cannot bear the news. Guys, don't be scared. Be prepared. About the Azores Islands. Yeah, okay. I don't think that's what he's talking about, because he's talking about California. Anyway, so guys, here's the bottom line again. When you look at the sum total of threats to our power grid, world war, which could go nuclear, or have cyber attacks and people hitting you from the ground with kinetic attacks like happened at the Metcalf station, not like the recent power grid substation attacks. Those were mostly amateur. The Metcalf station attack was professional. And the Iranians have already told us years ago they had over 20 sleeper cells ready to take out 20 of our most important substations. Upon learning that just 9 would be all that would be required to take down our whole grid. How many more do they have now? What else do they have cells for? Guys, our infrastructure is at huge risk. Our power is at risk. Our society is at risk. I mean, just taking out trains can really wreck the supply chain, guys. If you take out the trains, Jackson free market is fallen. Rumor of another bank. Yeah, there's all kind of rumors. It's kind of like revelations and wars and rumors of wars. You know, we got rumors of rumors, I think. But when you look at the grid and you look at the prospects for war with Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and you add in the sun, I said it's like you got a 6-shooter and 5 chambers are loaded and we're playing Russian roulette. It's just a matter of time, guys, till our grid goes down. I don't like saying that because I've been trying to get it hardened so we wouldn't have to worry about it. But the industry has been fighting us very much. I've had several guests on my channel talking about this, guys. Several guests talking about this very topic. Dr. Peter Pry, Command Sergeant Major Mike Mabee, General Ken Krosniak, several people. So guys, you can go check out Arthur Bradley. I've had him on my channel twice, and he's got his own YouTube channel. You know, he talks about prepping. He spoke at my last Power Grid Defense Conference. I've met him personally. You know, he's from NASA Goddard. He's got a PhD in electrical engineering, and he's got a home lab where he tests stuff for how well he can withstand, you know, these kind of events. So when he talks, he's got it, trying to spread the word about Candida auris. Yeah, I bring you topics like this so you can get ready, you can prepare. That's what so many of my videos are oriented on. It's not just stick your head in the sand or buy more beans and rice. You know, yeah, you need to do that. But I also talk about other fixes. I've got a whole bunch of videos on how to eat free from the weeds and trees, wild edibles, wild herbals. How many other prepper channels do that for you? I mean, you know, guys, the most important thing you need to do, though, is start getting ready, get prepared. If you live in the city, get out. That's one of my problems right here. You know, I've got hit by about 3 things in a week, but a total of 5. Really, maybe a couple of them are a little bit slower than a week. But there's been several major events that have hit me here, guys. And to me, it's kind of like telling me, get out of here. Now, I've worked hard to try to get the mushroom house built, microgreens business started. But, you know, I got a day job and it's distracted. So I've been trying to get other people to work with me. And that's been extremely difficult. So my first thing I would tell anybody, you're going to start a worm farm or any of these kind of business, don't start any business where you got to hire anybody or depend on somebody else. Just scale it where you can run it by yourself. That is my number one advice. Don't do what I've done. There was a time I used to hire a ton of people and run very good projects. And I've had volunteer organizations I've run. I ran an International Space Development Conference. I had 80 volunteers working for me. And it was a great conference. Excellent. A couple of years earlier, the conference lost $60,000 in this series of conferences. Ours made a surplus. Ours had surplus revenue, enabled me to start our high altitude liftoff project. So I ran another volunteer project of people building rockets and launching high altitude balloons called the Halo Project. That worked great. And then we spun off a company, hired people to do things. I've had a lot of success with it. These last few years, you can't hire people. People don't do nothing. There's been a huge sea state change in the world. It makes it very difficult to run businesses. I had the supposition that what I did before would work today, and it don't. So my going advice right now, until the world gets real hungry and people wake up and get ready to work again, don't start anything that you can't do by yourself. Or have somebody that you know is going to be there that's going to have a profit motive. Just to come up with a position that has a profit motive is not good enough. You got to know you got somebody that's ready to fill the shoes. So, yeah, there's got to be a profit motive involved, but there's got to be, you make according to what you produce. But even that is not good enough. That's what I discovered. That blew my mind. That's not good enough by itself. It's already a lot of food. Yeah. If you want a wet rag to kill flies, I'll use a wet rag to kill flies. Oh, okay. How do PETA feel about killing flies? Killing flies. E120 and E904 are bug stuffs. Press Greg, 80 volunteers. Yeah, Cindy Lou, the 1993 International Space Development Conference. I ran it when I was 33. Spent 3 years planning that conference. The oldest video of me on YouTube is of me opening that conference. And I'm opening a space conference, and I'm talking about a war in Alaska when the Japanese attacked Attu Island and ate Attu. And, so, and I've always talked about this kind of stuff. These kind of things I have studied for decades, man. COVID. Oh, wow. That going to hit us. We're talking about the solar storm. It's hitting right now. It's a G4 storm. So it's a K 7.62, I think. I have to go back and look. On the KP index, it's almost a K8. Dark secrets of survival. Need to get ready to prep. Amen. Yeah. Be ready for the mental horrors. That's why I tell you guys sometimes be centered. Be right with your maker. And I've said this before. You got to really kind of at least run yourself through the mental exercise and think of how bad it really could be. Think how bad people can turn. It's mind-boggling. It will shock a lot of people. So you don't want to be there in a catatonic state when they're breaking your house and they're doing horrible things because your mind can't comprehend it. That's what happens to a lot of people. Comprehend it first and be ready for it. So if they come in, they won't be able to do those kind of things. Capiche? Capiche, guys? Happiness is a warm nug. Remember me saying that? Happiness is a warm nug. So what you need to do, study how to live off the land, study the wild edibles, study in your area, maybe practice some bushcraft skills. All that's for bugging out. I mean, I believe bugging in is usually a better proposition. But I may be moving to my bug out location to live. One of them. Fight or flight. That's what usually happens. Thanks for having those live chats, yeah, guys. So where are Y2 reviews, YouTube, as well as the book? If one doesn't want to buy it, where are the YouTube reviews? What book? Yeah, I may write some books in the roads. King Snurgelson the Viking. So it's just as bad in the UK, Greg. Skilled tradesmen are no longer skilled. Laborers want 200 pounds per day and more per hour, and time spent on the phone, chatting and working. Exactly. That's what I run into. People tell me my worms are being fed and watered, and they're not. And then when I think I got worms, now I go around expecting a few months ago, come back later, they're gone. You got to have due diligence, and it's just hard to find that now. That's why I said don't start anything you can't do by yourself. Me, I got a day job so far. It looks like that's coming to an end, but YouTube's taking a lot of my time. But YouTube was my marketing funnel for the worm farm. I got a lot more done back there before I started my YouTube channel. I built a log barn. I built a greenhouse. I did a lot more before I started this channel. After I started the channel, it gets harder to do these things. But, I tried to find people that could handle this stuff for me. I even was growing microgreens before I started this channel. So I was doing aquaponics. I had an aquaponics system out here that aquaponics system out here is 3 times older than this channel. So yeah, there's things I've been doing for a while, guys. Lee should write a book. I'd read it. Okay. There you go, Anton. One of these days I'm gonna write some books, hopefully. Actually, a lot of the books on this bookshelf here are about writing books. I got books about writing books. A bookshelf back over this direction is my textbooks from college. So actually, I was going to write a book, a story. I had this great action thriller idea. It was going to be an end times action thriller, kind of similar to the Left Behind series, but more to the point. I thought the Left Behind series, they did great with character development, but they didn't really understand science, and their Antichrist was a pushover. And I thought it was weak in certain areas. I thought I could do a far better action series. But I had a little different twist to it. I had a twist that was just going to grab people's attention. It was going to make people jerk the book all the shows. What? What is this? One of those kind of concepts. It was a killer concept. But in order to do this, I thought, you know what I ought to do? I ought to write in here. See, I was aware back then of conspiracy theories. And I was aware of what they were. I didn't put a lot of credence into them at the time, but I was aware of it. And so I thought, it would be good if I just sprinkle a few of these little points in my book, just to get people grabbed. So what? Turning the pages, And so I thought, well, let me study this stuff a little bit more so I can write it up good. I went down the rabbit hole and never come back out. So, uh-oh, yikes. That was started about 24 years ago. That kind of led my realization of just how bad things are. I'd heard this stuff for years. I'd heard it, knew about it. Thought, well, maybe, down the road. Yeah, then I got really digging, guys. And it's like, oh, geez. No. And I started getting a lot more serious about my prep. I've always been a prepper, but holy smoke, guys. So, where GG says, stay frosty and keep the powder dry. The old Black Scout survival says, stay frosty all the time. I like my powder, my black powder nugs. I built a nice Hawkins rifle when I was 16 years old. Oh my God, it was a beauty. It was the best, truest shooting device I ever had. 50 caliber black powder. I could literally move the head of birds up in trees at will. No problem. Nuclear power plants falling is serious. Yeah, they've been leaking tritium. Yeah, there's so much going on, guys. So the bottom line is get ready. Get ready. It's coming. It's already hitting the fan. It's starting. The whole thing is starting to unravel. That's what you're seeing with the infrastructure attacks. That's what you're seeing with the food system. All the chess pieces are being lined up for WW3. Basically, we're up a creek. Yeah, all the chess pieces are being lined up. I'm 66 and prepped in all areas. Problem is my eggs in one basket. Yeah, Clayton, you can't do everything, but do the best you can, man. You're 66, I'm 63. I'm right behind you, buddy. And, I'd hoped I'd been in a lot better shape when all the stuff hit, but I'm finding my right knee starting to get stiff. And, we just got to do the best we can do. Us old folks, we don't have all the stuff we had when we were 30 and 40. I used to run 12 miles every other day, 6 miles out, 6 miles back every other day. And then I got plantar fasciitis, so I started riding bicycle. I rode 20 miles every other day until I messed my knee up. But went to smoke a nug. There you go. Smoking nugs. If you got them, light them. Yeah, when there's an army, they used to tell folks they want to smoke the cigarettes when they were ready for a smoke break. They said, if you got them, light them. But I ain't talking about the kind you puff on. I'm talking about the kind your nugs. But the smoking nug, there you go. Acely cancer and a number. Oh, is the number one killer? Is that what you meant to say? So where in Canada are you, Anton? Yep, you're over in Saskatchewan, close to Nate. We got is Arnold Smith in the house. Arnold Smith is up in Alberta. I don't see Arnold Smith. Yeah, but I have Arnold tonight. Maybe it's in earlier. He's in Alberta. He's a regular. We used to get North Shore coming in the house. He passed away on us, though. He is in Canada. Solomon. Greg, talk to your daughter about future plans. She might have insights. Yeah, I know Cindy Lou. Strange stuff. Well, they're throwing stuff at it. Oh, Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. That's right. We talked about that. There used to be a guy named Tim Catterman, had a chapter of the L5 Society in Raleigh. Yeah. I was just down the road. We'd all meet together a lot of times. Raleigh several times. University of North Carolina campus there in Raleigh is beautiful. They have an aerospace department there at that campus. So, guys, again, get ready. Be centered. Be prepared for insanity. Mentally prepare yourself. Because you got to be the strong one for your family. You can't ask everybody to wrap their brains around this stuff. It would be cruelty. Somebody's got to be able to understand it so they won't be in a catatonic state. Greg, I need somebody to watch the windows while I get a couple of hours sleep. There you go, Clayton. I hear you, buddy. That's why we need a tribe, why we need groups. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're reading the cancer is number one killer. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Well, look at all these chemicals, these forever chemicals and all the stuff we got going around, guys. Hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You got that right, William Song? Get this over. I got to go. It's late, guys. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. I got to get up and do this stuff. I did not mean I was going to go to bed 2 hours ago. Then Lee calls. Hey, we got a KP8. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I was trying to get by with that doing a video tonight. Don't rely on your defense. Ego will, yeah, adapt and survive. Okay. My depression era grandparents taught me to prepare. There you go. Well, back then I was living. Shoot, people had to grow their own food and put it up. That's how people on the farm were when I grew up. They were still doing that because that was their old habits. And we had a milk cow when I was a kid. I mean, farmers milk their own cows these days. Now, there's more getting back to that, and some have milk goats. I can believe them. I keep trying. OCR. So, I don't know. I'm beating a dead horse, guys. I'm beating a dead horse, but just seriously. Yep, scratch. Seriously, guys, get ready. Get ready. 2 years is what we're talking about. Maybe sooner. I mean, it's hitting the fan already. And for me, I'm already dealing with job loss. And, maybe I could get a job right here in town still, probably. But given that I had so many things hit me at once, I think I'm getting some cosmic message to get out of Dodge. I actually got a job offer in Snowflake, Arizona. Not as much money as I make here. but it's still an offer. And I got to start thinking about it. Oh, yeah. John. Yeah, that's probably the right way to say it. We don't say words like on this channel. So, guys, you know, I'm really thinking about going out there. Like I said, if I can get somebody to run my stuff out here for me on a sharecropping basis, I might stay. Otherwise, I'll be looking to sell off this whole place as a homestead if somebody's interested, or pieces of it. Somebody, if you want to buy a mushroom operation, if you want to buy a worm farm, if you want to buy microgreens, get set up. I got the stuff to get you set up. But on the other hand, if I don't sell them, I can just take that stuff out to Arizona and set up my stuff out there. It might be the best thing for me. Keith in Arizona, step down and move off grid. I did. That's what I'm thinking about. I'll be mainly off grid. I need some solar and wind power or something to run a well and get access to the internet and run my CPAP machine. Oh yeah, I'm using one of those. Charge a few batteries up. I don't need a lot of power. Right? This place here is a power hog. I got huge pumps running out there in my aquaponics greenhouse. So still, you know, the top's gone. So I got fish in there. So the water pumps are still running. I got water pumps running out here. I got a cooler out there, a couple freezers. I don't know. If I get in a big greenhouse operation again, I might do that. But you know, why do you think NATO got into the Ukraine war officially this month? Well, they're not officially into it but they're into it. And Russia says that. So it's just a matter of time, guys. Yeah, we keep upping the ante, and Russia's, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Like back east is loaded with people. Most move to Arizona, much more suited for survival. Yeah, that's just it. And that's a year ago, Huntsville was the third largest city in Alabama. Now within a year, it went from number 3 to number 1. People are moving here like crazy. They're building around here like crazy. Makes a good time to sell a house, probably. But it also means, you know, it's probably a good time to get out, because I just looked around and say, oh, if in 2 years there's no food, I'm the food. Everybody knows I'm a prepper and they know where I'm at. So maybe I won't tell people where I'm at in Arizona. And if I do, it'll be a lot harder to get to me. There's not so many people there. I may spend time in Maine too. Maine is not out of the question, guys. I may split my time. Maine's got some interesting aspects to it. I wouldn't mind wintering in Maine. Most people think of going to Maine in the summertime. No, I'd go in the winter. No black flies, and I could run trap line. You know, have a dog sled team. I could go up in the summertime to build my trapper's cabin. Hairy spiders. I have to wear a lot back brace. Okay, garden. Well, bless your heart, CR. Well, that's another thing, you know, if I'm going to do things, I need to do them now while I'm still able, because I'm seeing capabilities degrade over time. You know, hey, I'm wearing a heart monitor at this moment. I kid you not, guys. And we're just looking, because I've been having tachycardia. My heart's been racing. So this thing here, I got it on my necklace to hold it, you know. So there's monitoring. Got it upside down. Oops. You probably can't read it with the light on the screen. So I've been getting some tachycardia, so I'm all wired up. But anyway, it's not the end of the world, but I just need to try to. The problem is my insurance will probably run out before the heart doctor will make an appointment for me to talk about this stuff. Breaker 19. You get that right, Nicholas? So yeah, 322. Well, that passed. Yeah, it was a weird day, wasn't it, John? Dutch Dooley. They're us a kid. I mean, use a kid in Canada's challenge. Oh, it's challenge trap lines and inlines. Okay. There you go. Only 19. Yeah. That's one of the things I was thinking to do when I was like a teenager, young teenager. I was really considering that, guys. I was wanting to move out in the wilderness and do just that. I really was. All right, Anton. Well, the Schumann is pretty active. The Schumann frequency. All right, guys, let's see here. You probably won't want to be a roomie with me. Look after yourself, Gigi. Yep, that's what I need to do. I got to go to bed. No fear. Yeah, John, that's just it. Be prepared, not scared. I mean, guys, you can only do what you can do. Do the best you can. Be prepared. At the end of the day, it don't help you to sit around fretting over it, and just chewing your fingers off. What's it going to get other than bony fingers? There's a song about that. Remember that song, Bony Fingers? An old country song. Bony fingers. So, but you got to be centered. Be right with your maker, however you judge that to be. And just get as much prepared as you can. Nobody can be perfect 100%. Do the best you can. And it's as much a state of mind as anything. It's a state of mind. A lot of it is. If you don't have the right mind state, you're not going to survive. It's going to get tough. All you know is doing this on a phone. God help you. You got to toughen up. It's going to be rough, guys. That's all I can say. Being around a lot of people, not a good thing. You're in a big city, get out. I moved out in the country when I moved here, but the city has been chasing after me for the 31 years I've been here. It's really built up around here. It makes me not feel so good about it. Monkey Gallery, this is not going to be a place to be. Fear is the greatest killer. Oh, that's true. That is true. So the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. All right, guys. The only thing we have to fear is beer itself. I don't know. Sometimes it helps to make jokes. It helps to laugh at things. It keeps you some levity up. Otherwise, you get drug into depression. I'll be honest, I've been depressed the past couple of weeks. A lot, quite often, all too often, just because of the things I've been looking at and trying to deal with. I've had a lot of hopes and dreams on what I've been setting up out here, and I believe if I had a few more months financially would work. But I think I've been just giving them a wake-up call, because this probably ain't a good place to be in general. It's probably just not good to be here in this rapidly building city area, metropolitan area that it's become around me. But it's a fan, a lot of hungry zombies. Every time he built a new ghetto next to me, I said, dang, more kibbles. Not what you want to do. You don't want to have to be doing that kind of stuff. But you got to do what you got to do. It's more than stupidity. What's that, John? Work your fingers to the bones. What do you get? Bony fingers. Yeah, you've heard that song, Bony Fingers. Oh, you worked with one of the writers. Oh, wow, Vanderman. That is cool. Oh, did it go down? All right, very good. Very good. It could go back up, but that hole will start moving away. We all prepped up out here in its suburbs, 4 to 6 months of supplies, maybe more. Stand my ground. I'll stand my ground. I won't back down. A song for everything, right? All right, I guess getting close to 4:20, huh? Yikes. Yeah, time-wise, we got to go, guys. We got to go. What's going on in the world? Let me do a quick check, guys. Let me look at that index. Yeah, we got some bad weather coming in here tomorrow. That's tomorrow already, today. Holy guacamole. Oh, yeah, it's gone down. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's share. That's the breaking news now. All's clear. We're no longer in a G4 storm. It's back. It went back down. There it is now, 6.67. There it was earlier when we came on, and now she's back down. So that's the good news, guys. That's the good news. I think it's a good note to end the night on. So don't say I'm not trying to keep you guys abreast of what's going on. Hey, y'all finally out of your hole. What? Yeah, AI? Is that what you say? AI? Out of your hole. Yeah, I wanted to do a video on AI. I was going to do that today or tomorrow. I just didn't have time. I really didn't have time to do a video tonight. If I got time, I'll share some of the articles I was talking about with y'all tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be a bevy more. There's so much stuff going on, guys. I mean, it's happened just like this morning. Bam. You know, we've attacked apparently Iranian forces in Syria because we got hit by a drone. Yeah, it's just cooking up, guys. Daily tornadoes popping up in West Texas. Oh, this is early for that. Yikes. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Guys, get ready. Be prepared. Be prepared, guys. As ready as you can. I'm not joking. We're in serious times now. You know, I'm not going to tell you now. There's one YouTuber used to tell you, don't get scared. I'll tell you when to get scared. No, he said, don't panic yet. I'll tell you when to panic. I'll never tell you to panic. Never panic. You might need to get in a bit of a hurry. But keep your head on your shoulders if you want to keep your head on your shoulders. You know what I mean? Don't panic. You need to keep your wits about you. Panicking is there's no wits. You're just in flight mode or fight mode or something. And sometimes you got to get in fight or flight, but you better have your wits about you. I had a kid one time who was horsing around the vehicle in front of him, going down the road, and the guy in front got mad. He stopped in the middle of the road when this guy couldn't pass him. And he got out of the big guy. He got out of that car and started walking back to the car that kid was in. That kid turned around, looked over his shoulder right at me, and slammed his car in reverse and run right into me, looking at me. I had to stop. Everybody stopped in front of me. And then he said, well, I didn't see you. Well, he was looking right at me, and he probably didn't. He was so blind with fear, he couldn't see my vehicle, me and my two kids and my vehicle. We're getting ready to go to a Christmas thing for my family, and my kids had pecan pies in their hands, which went poof, it's busted all to pieces. Because this knucklehead kid was so panicked when he looked right at us, he couldn't see us. That's what happens when you panic. You don't see, you don't think, you're just he was in flight mode. Well, that other guy got out of his car, saw that. He knew I was going to be teed off. He ran, got in his car and left because I'd have came after him. He was going to be my object. He got the heck out of Dodge. He ran, jumped in his car. Wow. Oh, no. Anyway, don't panic ever. If you got to fight somebody and you're panicked, you're going to be doing stupid stuff and you're liable to get you whipped. Smart guy is a good fighter. The guy who's thinking. If you're just, no, you're in trouble. You're going to get wiped out. Don't panic. Keep your smarts about you. That's how you come out ahead. And quite often, that'll get you out of a fight or a scrape. Quite often. Al Gore's in the house. How about that? You need a private jet like mine, Greg. There you go. Hey, buddy, you want to loan it to me? They can eat worms. There you go. Fear is a brain killer. It is. I panicked 3 years ago. The panic stage is long gone. I'm tired of waiting to see what's going to happen. Can you make a pecan pie? Amen, Tom. I make the best darn pecan pie anybody ever ate. My pecan pies have pecans from the bottom to the top. It's not a jelly pie with a veneer of pecans on it. My pecan pies are pecan pies, and I don't use any white corn syrup in making my pecan pies. And they're dark and very rich in flavor. Very rich in flavor. I haven't made one in a few years. I used to make pecan pies all the time, and they were in great demand. Great demand. Got prepped. Defend your family and home. Amen. Robert, I got enough things going on in my brain right now that fear definitely not needed. Yeah, we ain't got time to be scared, guys. We don't even have time for it. Come on. Just get ready. I'm just telling you to be serious. That's what I'm telling you. Be serious. Get ready. Get ready now because it's coming. And if we don't, I've tried my best to get things were that we wouldn't be in this state. Like running 2 power grid defense conferences. The last one was a huge financial cost. It cost a lot of money. We lost our rear ends money-wise on that conference. But we're trying to get the word out. We're trying to make things happen. And that's what we're doing on this channel. That's why we're on here tonight, guys. Get ready. Get ready. That's all I can say. I think many of my native pines are edible. Yeah, most of them are. Most of them are. Alabama pecans are awesome. That's right, madam. We got a lot of pecans growing. You know what else grows a lot of pecans? New Mexico. New Mexico's got a lot of pecan orchards. They have to irrigate them. They got a lot of pecan orchards in New Mexico. Al Gore, will this geometric excursion make the weather go mad? Well, it's calming down right now, finally. Thankfully. Anyway, all righty, guys, let's call it a knight. Well, yeah, we should put a K in front of it and pronounce it right, just like the word knife. It's got a K and don't pronounce it. So I call it a knife. I got a pocket knife and a belt knife, right? And I like to go to Knoxville, so we should have a Nashville. Pecan pies are great, but nothing beats a good wet bottom slow fly pie. What is that? What is that, Dr. Smitty? Slow fly pie. Well, that sounds nasty. What are you talking about? Don't be talking nasty stuff. I don't even know what that is. Texas has pecans. Oh yeah, the pecans go throughout the South. Lee Horn. AI needs to get. Oh, Al needs to get in his hole. There you go, Al. Al, get in your hole. Oh, that's what y'all talking about earlier. Yeah, I didn't realize Al was in the room earlier. Get in your hole, Al. Elite shungite is good for filtering water. Yeah, I got some shungite. Hey, I got shungite right here. Diamond is fond of shungite. It's actually got some Russian meteorite. That is shungite on my short nug magic wand. It's apple. This is apple. It's not a bone. It's apple wood. Gorgeous Awesome made this for me. Hello, Gorgeous Awesome. Shungite. Watch it. I'll put a spell upon you. Yeah, also the scientist and inventor of the internet. Holy whacking smoke-a-moly, Al. Dutch mama called mullein Amish rouge. Amish rouge. Always heard it called mullein. When I was a kid, I heard it called mullein. I found one thrift store. It's worth $1,000. Oh, really? Wow. Well, something Disney have a dark theme. Google where Disney came from. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Disney. Shoe fly pie is an Amish pie. Okay. Amish pie. I don't know that one. All right. I have to teach you there is molasses, sorghum syrup, and other types of sugars in a shoe fly pie. There you go. I love sorghum. I love sorghum syrup. I used to make a lot of that on Sand Mountain where I grew up. You know, hey, if we used to take hot butter biscuits and you'd either sop them in the sorghum or just pour the sorghum on the hot butter biscuit. That or pear preserves on a hot butter biscuit. Can't beat that. Either one of them. Elites cost more, but you get what you pay for. All right, guys, it is 1 minute to 4:20. It's gonna take me a little. I can't even go straight to bed. I gotta get up in a couple minutes. Let's see. The wood doll from Disney was hung from what? Jeez. Shungite comes in smaller pieces. I'm told that shungite. I've got some smaller pieces of shungite too. You know, Diamond puts them in this flask he drinks water with. I think he sent me some. God's about to clean house. Have no fear. All right, guys, it's going to be rough. Well, there's a lot of, hey, There's Christian martyrs in the last book. Apple pies in Northern California. Okay. Apple pies are good. I love my apple pie a la commode. There we go. All right, let's call it a night. So the storm is calmed down. It's all clear. We declare an all clear, just like later gator. There you go. After a while, crocodile. So with that, I'm going to say thank you all for watching. I think I had a super chat earlier, didn't I? Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, mods. And thank you, people in the room. Y'all kept it pretty clean tonight. I wish I hadn't started talking about suspicious observers right up front because that distracted from our main message. So I'm sorry about that for taking us off topic a little bit here. Sometimes people throw stuff out there and it's just like, come on, you don't watch my videos. Why are you talking about that? But then again, a lot of you are new to my channel. I understand. Shoot, that video was like over 2 years ago. You need to go back and find it though. All right, guys. Good night, Greg. This is Chewy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you very much. Y'all take care.